Live.
Hey,
and we're back.
Everybody. Me and Paul smoked weed before the show this week. It's Friday. It's Friday. We don't do many Friday shows.
They're good shows though, because like I have no pressure this day. So
Yeah.
this is my well-being and the best show that I can do. It might be the best day.
I have a show tonight, but it's a fun show. Like, so I'm finally back to being just a comedian now.
Oh yeah.
After weeks.
All your benefits.
After weeks of kind of like, I'm still, at least I'm just doing stand-up comedy tonight and tomorrow. And that's all I'm doing. So I'm happy to be back to that kind of like free during the day, doing shows
So
at
good.
night. I got that for a couple weeks. So.
That's how, if you could do your life perfect, that's how you would do it. No money, no nothing.
People think I'm kidding all the time when
No.
I say this. My girlfriend thinks I'm kidding when I say it. I mean it. It factored into the decision to become a comedian was what a great schedule.
Yeah, exactly.
Factored right in.
Yeah.
It wasn't even, I'd say more than 10%. It was like, oh, you know what? One of the best parts, but you'd watch Seinfeld and go, that guy's life is great.
Yeah,
he has
exactly.
coffee with his friends. He shoots the breeze. And then at
Exactly.
night he goes out. He does a bunch of gigs.
Dude, don't you like feel bad for people that really have to pound the real 9 to 5? They're not even doing 40 hours a week. They're doing 60 hours a week.
Yeah,
Like
I
there's
do.
something just to have like a moment to think nonsense in your own head. Like what a creative or whatever you want
That's
to call
why
it,
people
but-
love TV so much. That's why they get so excited about, television shows, because it's putting creative thought into their head instead of having to have their own creative thought. So it's like, oh man, Game of Thrones, let's all talk about it. It's like this
100%.
shared
100%. Yeah.
fantasy.
Yeah.
Right? But
I do it with
everyone
sports.
loves Game of Thrones, but it's to
Except
what
me.
degree? But not everyone's creative either. I think that there's...
I don't believe that. I think the human brain's more similar than we want to believe it is. I think we're all a lot fucking more similar. We all have it. People just like turn things off at different points in their life. It's like a muscle. If you don't build it, it's not there.
That's true, I think, but I probably think to
capable.
different degrees, though, right?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
some
Like
people
you're
who
not Picasso.
There's some people who will listen to a song and cry or have goosebumps. And there's other people who would listen to a song and never have that.
But do you think that can even be built? Even like I think everything is
so.
variable for humans.
I guess so.
Because I feel like I, at certain periods, couldn't do stuff like that. And then other periods, I was like...
That's what I was gonna say. It's sort of in the span of a human life.
Yeah.
You can be so many different people. I was actually saying this to Pat the other day. I was playing Fortnite and I had the headset on.
Yeah.
And I was on a squad with a teenage. It was so funny. I was on with a teenage boy and a little boy, like a kid.
I have to mute it.
I usually...
Yeah.
So here's my deal with that. I kind of... mostly 85, 90% of the time play Fortnite just by myself. No mics, no nothing.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, for some reason, it's
more fun with the interaction.
Yeah.
I agree with that with all games.
I don't even talk much. It's just kind of funny to me to listen to because what'll end up happening is I'll play with my nephew.
Yeah.
He'll be like, let's play. So I'll play with him, and that'll get me in the headset thing.
Yeah.
I'll be playing with him, and then I'll be like, some of these clowns that we're playing with are funny. They're like making me laugh in the middle of this game. Even though they're little kids saying stupid
so
little
racist
kids
sometimes.
stuff. Yeah, I haven't, honest to God,
You haven't hit that?
Not even once.
Wow.
With Fortnite.
Oh,
not
I'm
even.
a Call of Duty person. So
Yeah, other games.
Recently, I've gotten into that.
Other games majorly, but not once with Fortnite have I gotten racist stuff or heard anything racist.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's all...
I wonder if
It's all like, you suck, bro. Like, it's all like about the game. You stink at this game.
I wonder if that's the colorful images and the universal appeal to that game.
Maybe.
Why does it foster that?
I think it's also... That stuff has to be more our generation than their generation.
Maybe.
Like,
That's a
one
good
thing
point.
about my
That's a good
nephew
point.
and my nieces, they're kinder than they're softer than we were, but they're more kind.
Yeah.
They don't have that bully,
but
they have it, but it's not as strong.
it's different though. They bully people in a different way.
They do, and they ostracize each other and isolate each other.
Hardcore.
But anyway, to get back to the, I was playing in this Fortnite squad, and it's me, guy in his mid-30s, not talking, but I'm on, and my thing says that I'm old in it.
Yeah.
My gamer tag or whatever. And then this kid who's probably like, I would guess 7, 8, and then this teenage dude.
Yeah.
And I was like, after it was over, I was like, man, that was almost one man in 3 different parts of his life because I was laughing at the interaction between them too. I never turned the mic on except for one point just to say like yes or something, like give an affirmative. Yeah. Someone was like, can we go over here now? Da, da, da. And I was like, okay.
Northeast.
Yeah. I was like, I hear you. My voice always causes silence. If I don't say anything for a while, I'm always like, yeah. And then it's just like this deep, it's like a dad is on, you know? Not that I have the world's deepest voice, but for Fortnite servers I do. So I'm playing, and it's like we're not even out of the bus yet, and this kid goes, everyone's putting down where they want to land.
Oh yeah.
So
it's like a drop point.
A drop point.
Yeah.
So the youngest kid, he's first one out. He wants to land a dusty divot, right? And
as you would,
as many people like dusty divot.
Is that true?
Great landing spot. Well, there's a challenge right now to try and get kills at dusty divot. Right, so it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
But that process of where do you land, it's pretty random. Everyone has favorite areas.
Yeah.
But you can kind of tell what kind of player you're playing with. Like tilted towers is when everyone's like tilted. You're like, oh, I'm just playing with a bunch of savages,
bunch of alphas.
They
right?
they just want to land and shoot.
And on the betas, go on the outside and like collect stuff. Yeah, they gather.
Those are my teams.
Oh, I'm not. I'm the other.
I like to land on the outside and survive late into the game.
That's why I watch you and Pat play video games more than I play video games. And you both play that way. You're both fucking like little tinkerers.
Little hoarder survivors.
You drive me insane.
I know. Pat's extra like that. But I like to just have everything. I was even playing last night well into the morning this morning. 6 a.m.
Yeah. You're still on that Avenger.
Yeah, Avengers high. And there's Avengers Fortnite now, so I was in there. Just
I'm doing it.
The sun was coming up. I was like, man, I haven't done this in a while. But I was like, fuck it, you know? Yeah. So I'm playing with these dudes, and the kid hits the thing to land at Dusty Divot, and the teenage dude goes, what the hell's up with Dusty right now? Like, why is everyone sweating Dusty?
Spamming
Why does everyone always want to be Dusty? Which is... That's the teenage perspective of like, why is the world so fucking stupid? Yeah. Like, why do I have to wake up every day? And
we're all walking the same path.
Yeah, we're just rats in a maze. Like, you're just kind of figuring out as you're a teenager that life isn't.
It's the worst. You remember yourself as that too? So annoying.
You're pumped full of hormones.
Yeah, that's part of it.
You're finally wising up a little and realizing like, holy shit,
the world's not just like my neighborhood.
Yeah. The world's not my neighborhood, and not only am I not the coolest guy in my neighborhood,
exactly,
but I'm really low on this.
Dude, that was such a shocker. Realizing you're not the coolest person, and you're like, holy shit, I'm kind of a small nerd.
My grandfather used to say the worst day in a kid's life is kindergarten, when you go to school, or preschool, whatever that day you first go to school is. You're out of your family bubble where everyone in your family has been like, it's the baby, and like, oh my god, it's little Paul, and like, exactly, come here, Paul, and then it's I'm like, all right, Paul, it's your first day of school, and then get on the bus, and you're like, bye, and then the second you sit down the bus, some kid's like, you got a big fucking nose, Paul, like, you get a big nose, and you're like, what, my nose? And then you go through that's the rest of your life. You have a nose complex.
It happened to me so much later too. It was like the switch over to parochial, like there's exam schools in Boston. The switch was parochial school to exam school, because it was just like you're in this tiny small community and then where you've seen like 2 black people your entire life, and now it's like, and you're just like let loose, and you're like, oh,
I can remember, I think I actually remember one of my first instances of doing stuff like that was going to Celtics games at the Boston Garden, seeing kind of like the masses in one place and being like, oh my God, I'm just in a small fraction of this world, you know? I kind of thought the rest of the world on TV was like Who Framed Roger Rabbit on TV. It was just some weird thing that was happening someplace else that will never
It's not really real.
Yeah, it's not really real. It'll never affect me, at least.
I still kind of think like that.
A lot of people do. So I'm on this Fortnite server. I'm listening to this teenage music. Why is everyone always like Dusty? And then like a second later, the younger kid's just like, I like Dusty.
Yeah, it's just perfect.
Like,
yeah, exactly. I fucking like it.
He's like,
you fucking douche.
He's not even that though. He doesn't even have that yet.
Yeah.
He's just like, I like Dusty. It's good. I think it's a fun landing spot. Like, why don't you like Dusty? Like, just sincere and kind.
What
and
did
like,
the other dude do?
He's like, I get lots of kills there, and I think we'll have fun as a squad. Like, just like wants
pure
and like on.
What did tainted Joe?
And I'm like, you know, hitting my 40s. My girl's been giving me a hard time because I'm only 30. I'm only 36, and I keep going like, I'm almost 40.
I was just gonna say the same thing.
I already got one foot in like the 40-year-old grave.
Well, you're only a little older than me. You're like my test marker, so you can't be saying that.
I've been catching myself saying it. I'm almost 40, which is not really.
Do you
true.
feel like you're getting older? I know it's tough to do tangents, but I haven't felt like I'm older yet.
Yeah, I'm having some times where I feel like I'm getting older.
I'm
definitely, actually, yes.
Really?
In so many ways right now, I feel like I'm getting older. So just to wrap up that story, the point, well, it weaves into this. To wrap up that story, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, it's funny. I'm here in my mid-30s, smoking weed, and it's like, you know, I've been reading up on Buddhism again lately, kind of refreshing, and I'm like, this is the circle of life. It's this kid is having a good time, not worrying about what people think. This teenager worries only about what people think.
Yeah.
And then here's me, sort of halfway through my journey, finally being able to look back on both of those things and be like, both of those are kind of wrong. Like, I had no idea either way, and like now,
or they're both right.
Yeah, it's always you're always kind of though just getting your footing, because that's each day is the best day, you know, or your most learned day is each day, right?
Yeah.
So to answer the question of do I feel older, in the past couple weeks, I feel older in so many different ways. I'm doing some things right now, like with my life, that are old guy things, like financial things, and
those ones do make you feel older.
Property,
those things do make you feel older.
You know, meeting with people with broker in their name, stuff like that makes me feel.
To pretend to be serious.
Yeah, stuff like that makes me feel old.
Yeah, all right, I get that.
Going to meetings.
I meant more physically.
So that's the other side of the coin.
Or mentally.
So I'm walking here just now. I got my new sneaks.
Ooh, I like
Nike Vomero 14s. Went back to the Vomero after. Yeah, I've been a Vomero. Like, these are running sneakers. I wouldn't normally be wearing them, but I was like, gotta wear the new sneaks on the show.
Kind of similar to our microphone thingies.
They are very similar in the color of my bedroom walls too.
I like that.
But they're just a great running shoe, Vomero. So the color is just a nice bonus. I got to pick the color. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes there's only like two choices. They had like some good choices. But anyway, I got a race on Sunday, and I got like a little bit of a nagging foot injury here. I just ran like 10 miles the other day, and I'm like, man, I think it's the reason I got these is because my old sneakers were getting kind of old and worn out.
Yeah.
And I was like, long story short, the injury type thing, I feel like it takes a little longer.
You don't heal as fast
for stuff to heal.
Think you could augment that?
I can actually see, I've been running for 3 years, and I can see my mileage. I can see like what speeds I'm running at what times, right?
Yeah.
And I notice as I get older, the decline is faster, and the time to get back to where I was is slower.
All right. So doesn't that just mean you have to like figure out something?
Yeah, I think it's just.
Are you a supplement person?
I think it's
like creatine is a good.
I think a huge one is sleep. Yeah. I think that's major.
That's a good point.
I notice, like, if I think about it, if I look at those charts, I'm like, all right, when I'm not sleeping, I'm not doing fast miles.
Oh, that's super interesting.
Shitty things.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about apps. You can now like correlate data.
Correlate things.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it keeps you honest too, because I have it keeps meditation too.
Yeah.
So I'm like, if I got a little lazy with that, quite frankly.
I have a fasting one. You're right though. It keeps you honest.
Yeah. I got a little lazy with the meditation when I was in Florida because I'm living with all these dudes and it's
Florida.
It was Florida. It was a very kind of like alpha environment. There wasn't a lot of time to really, if I had an hour to myself, I basically didn't want to meditate. I was like, I would go on my runs and kind of use that as meditation.
Yeah.
But if I had an hour to myself, I just wanted to like nap, beat off, like watch some episode of Mad Men or something.
Stare at the stars.
Like just listen to my own thoughts instead of other guys talking.
Is this baloney good?
Yeah, you ever think about couches? Like comedians, like living with comedians is fun, but sometimes you're just like the minutia of life.
Yeah, it's like, can we not have a take? Can we just all sit here?
But we all do. And I'm just it's where I belong. But even I will sometimes go.
Do you remember like the early days of watching wrestling at Pat's where you guys would just try to one-up each other and it was like just you'd constantly do bits over and over each other?
I was thinking of phases of Pat the other day. Do you remember Pat's unabashed disagreement phase when he would disagree with everything?
Yeah, I like that.
It was part of his
That
chaos.
was one of my favorite ones.
That was part of his. That was my least favorite. That was by far my least favorite.
But it was always a conversation.
It was so annoying. Yeah, because you dip in for an hour. And
exactly.
It was like the most annoying phase. You could say anything. Yeah. I knew it was intentional, and I knew it was part of his self-help chaos magic. I read a self-help book that was basically like, be a selfish dick and you'll get stuff in the world. That was like his self-help.
And it worked.
Like, be a complete prick. See what happens. You'll probably get stuff. It was so annoying. And but I do remember that was a different period of time, and I actually think I was a bigger dick when I smoked cigarettes. Like I think I was so much more. Despite running and meditating and doing a lot of stuff I do now, I was just a level or two more keyed up all the time.
It's that nootropic effect.
Yeah, and kind of like that same feeling you get when you've drank just a cup too much coffee, and you catch yourself being pissed for like really no reason.
You can even tell that you're doing it, but you still do it.
Yeah,
that's even worse.
And it's something that's a little. I'm trying to think of, like, I get it in traffic sometimes. I'm like, why am I driving like I'm late when I'm really not even late right now? I do that. We got some chatters.
Yeah. Jen mentioned she likes your hat.
Jen.
Flat Cat's asking about my hand. I didn't tell you about that. I screwed my hand up playing hockey. You look at that.
I thought I great. It looks a little bit jacked.
Yeah, there you go.
Whoa, I see it now. What happened?
That's fine though. But
ice hockey?
No. Just I bought rollerblades recently, and I was gonna okay. We should talk about this because I have it's a good thing I don't like.
Inline Paul.
It's a good thing I don't like. I know. I'm returning them, so it's over. So
really?
That's the end of the story. I'm gonna tell you.
What size foot do you have?
Like a 10.5. I go a little small on rollerblades.
I'd buy them, but
but
I'm 11.5, 12.
But like I had to stop playing roller hockey. I stopped playing ice hockey like probably when I was like 20. I stopped playing roller hockey when I was like 25 because I had like 4 concussions in a row.
Yeah, and a bunch of knee problems too, right?
Well, the knee problems when I was younger, that's pretty much fixed. I have good knees now with cadaver fucking
pieces in me.
Yeah, Paul's part. But no, your body takes it over. It becomes yours. It's better than it was before.
Sure. Sure.
That's what they told me.
Sure.
But I do think
you won't get into heaven.
But I always say this because I get obsessive about stuff, and it's like I'm glad that I never liked real drugs, and I just like weed because I'm one of those people who would ruin it. So like I had to like physically stop myself from playing hockey because I got literally like 4 concussions.
I know you're very competitive. I know I've played things with you.
I just can't stop.
Ride or die.
Yeah. I'm either going to do something 0 or 100.
Yeah.
That's like the only way I can really do things.
Even bowling, you were.
Yeah. I wanted, but yeah.
But that was you bowled well.
For the first time ever.
But you did the classic bowling error of
too much.
You were bowling
first.
well, and then you were trying to control it.
And I was trying to I think I figured this all out.
Yeah. That's the end. It happens to us all. So what happened?
Basically,
tell me what happened.
So recently, I'm like, maybe I'm not so obsessive about stuff. I can get rollerblades again, play a little roller hockey, just be like a normal person.
Down here?
Wherever. Like, I have like a couple of friends that are still in leagues, but like more minor leagues.
Roller hockey's a great time.
Yeah, it really is, especially if you
wrist shots. You play with a ball or a puck?
You play with a ball.
That's the way to go.
But that's how I hurt myself.
I was better at
with wrist shots. So I've got the rollerblades, and then it was Easter, and it was Easter, and I was playing just a little hockey with Sharon's nephew.
Yeah.
And before that, I was doing my basement, so I kind of screwed up my wrist just lifting dirt and concrete stuff. So my wrist felt a little weird. Then I'm taking wrist shots that day, felt a little more weird. And the next day, I went out with my friend, and I was shooting weighted pucks. So I'm just like, it amps up. So I was feeling great. I was just like locating things. Like I was just like, I'm back. I'm here. I'm doing I'm a champ. But then the next day, I was gonna use the rollerblades for the first time, and I'm tying them. I look down, and my wrist is just like blown up and swollen, and it just looks terrible. And it felt weird, but I was just ignoring it. So I just ignored things. Yeah. And then
that's a man.
It just tweaked it though. Like the whole thing basically just happened.
I can see it now. It's all black and blue.
Yeah. But then I saw my father, and my father saw it. My father's usually like suck it up type of person. He was like, that looks pretty terrible.
Wow.
Yeah. So then I went and like got them to like just do all the shit.
Oh, really?
I didn't hear about it yet, but like maybe today or Monday. But it's fine. I know it's fine.
Still though, looks like it. You must have blown something out.
I think it just like tweaked. I have like an injury in my wrist before, and I think it just tweaked like that ligament. That's all I think it is. It's just a little. So I'm good.
Well, we're back. Old guys talking about their injuries.
But that's actually why I asked you about that, because of this. Because this is like what was Easter 5 days ago, something like that.
Yeah.
And I already feel like I'm almost healed. Like I went from like
I'll pop an Advil. I gotta if this doesn't feel better by Sunday, I can still run on it, but that's probably not gonna help.
Have you ever tried CBD?
Then I'll go sit at a Red Sox game for 4 hours after. No, but I smoke pot. So the other day, I was telling someone I smoked I did 3 cups of coffee.
Yeah.
3 bong hits. I ran 10 miles.
Perfect, right?
Had a blast.
There's a new article about performance enhancing marijuana, how people are using it to work out, which I completely buy into.
I mean, it's definitely person to person though, because a friend of mine was like, I don't know how the fuck you smoke weed and work out.
But you smoke out of a bong like I do. I think that's the key. Most of these people who aren't think you can't work out are smoking joints and stuff, which that
could be
your lungs.
It's caffeine. I'd say 1 in 100 times, 1 in 80 times it gets the best of me, and I won't work out.
Oh yeah,
but most of the time,
you still need to do the motivation thing.
You got to get out the door too. That's another key part of it is time one of those bong hits to out the door.
Well, just don't give in to your laziness.
Yeah, that's just the key.
I hate weed people. I really do. It's like a self-hating Jew type of thing, but I hate fucking weed people. I hate them, man.
That's why I wasn't legalized for so long. My brother sort of. There's these stereotypes of any race,
Yeah.
The pothead race. My brother is nowhere near what television, movies, sitcoms have a gay guy as.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So when he meets those kind of gay guys, or he's sort of, you can tell. I mean, I'm putting this on him, but you can tell there's kind of
it's all
right,
yeah. That's how I feel, dude. with the weed things though, like these guys beating drums, screaming about legalization with freaking dreadlocks, white assholes. I'm like, this is why. Yeah. This is fucking why.
But it's the same with everything, I think. But the smart weed people finally won out. I mean, there's billboards on 93 now from the state of Mass that are like, find out the good news about marijuana.
Yeah. I have opinions of that too. It went too far. We lost it. Because of it got too corporate too fast.
Oh man. Oh shit. I got some good weed the other day though.
Did you? We should start doing weed reviews.
I got some good weed. It was I did the Good Luck Comedy Fest, which is
that's very cool.
Such a good time. The Good Luck show is such a good time. I've had such a nice variety of shows lately. I did yesterday. I did an NPR TED Talk type show.
That's awesome.
In that environment.
Yeah.
And then last weekend I did this Good Luck thing. Unfortunately, my chick was a little under the weather while we were there at the end.
Oh, that sucks.
Isn't that always the worst?
Yeah.
It's one of the worst parts about being in a relationship is when
it's not just about
you're having a great time and the person you're with to no fault of their own falls ill for some reason, and you just have, and you're like, yeah, it's fine, but you're just kind of 75% as nice as you normally would be about it.
And yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, no, I'm happy. You can't help being sick.
It's definitely not your fault.
I would tough it out, but
that's where you go too far.
I get stomach aches. Yeah, that's the thing I always. I get stomach aches when I'm out on Fridays. Or you go, this is my favorite one is this is the one I always pull if they're at all happy for the next 2 hours. I'm feeling better? You're feeling better.
You're feeling better. That's the one. Yeah. You're.
My chick just told me, she's like, maybe I'll listen to your new show. And I hope this is not the one she listens to. She's gonna think I don't. She really was sick. I will say that. Because she doesn't do that all. If she was pulling that card all the time.
Yeah, like I do.
Yeah, or a lot of people do. My ex used to. That was probably my main reason why I was kind of a little bit. I was like, ugh, I hate this vibe. Because my ex used to do that all the time. She was just out and all the attention wasn't on her. She was like, I have a migraine. I don't feel good. Let's get out of here.
I think those people aren't even aware they are doing that sometimes. They're they can feel that the attention's not on them, but they don't even actively know that.
They don't not having attention, so they're just I don't that.
It's just a spidey sense.
It manifests as pain.
It's a spidey sense for assholes.
As stomach pain.
Yeah.
Then when you're 2 miles away in the car talking about them, they're like,
let's go to Wendy's.
Yeah.
Square burgers.
So all of a sudden they're like, I kind of feel like spending some of your money again. I'm kind of in the mood for you to buy me food. I heard a funny joke this week. A guy was like, how come guys wear belts and their asses still hang out of their pants? And the guy was like, how come women bring purses on dates and never pay for anything? I was like, blow. Even though my chick pays for stuff sometimes.
My chick definitely always does. Sharon always does.
I see my friends, their husband and wife, they've been married for a long time. I always see them Venmoing each other.
That's weird.
I'm
more of a cash person.
I just wonder what's up with that. I'm like, what do you guys Venmo? You have children. You have 2 children.
You don't share a fucking.
What are you Venmoing?
That's weird.
I always wonder about. I kind of want to ask, but that's a super personal question to get into someone's finances that. But I'm kind of interested in it because I'm like,
it's insane. We're gonna keep it completely separate. We sleep in separate beds. We schedule sex.
I'm thinking there's got to be a more adult answer, which is we have separate accounts and one of us.
But why would
they're both ours, but we manage both? You know what I'm saying? They might have a savings and checking or one of those sort of type of deals, that's or a credit union.
That's overcomplicating some shit. That's like a Kevin Hart joke. It's the way my bank account works.
But it might be how sometimes credit unions, they get into
maybe
that can be weird.
Yeah.
This is this is the kind of stuff that makes me feel old. We were talking about this old guy stuff. This kind of stuff is what's making me feel old. So, this sounds silly to be in your 30s, but I got a root canal this week.
Yeah.
And I was all like, man, I can't believe that I had tooth pain. I went to the dentist. I had it taken care of. I came back a month later and had a root canal.
Dude, neither of us are real people.
But now I'm. Do you know what I'm saying? That it's just funny to me. I know this is grown man shit, but I'm like, wow, I got health insurance or dental insurance on my own. I pay for it.
Everything worked.
I'm using it. I had a tooth problem. I went to the dentist and all without anyone's help. I did it all by myself. Like, that's the part that's kind of
so funny.
But then another part of me is kind of like, I better get like with, my girl like real quick, so I don't have to do all this shit by myself forever, because it's a pain in the fucking ass.
That's what I realized the other day. We'd go to the post office, and I'd only been to the post office 3 times in my life, and two times were for tours.
Oh yeah. Now at the post office, they're basically like, "Here's your stamp. Go fuck yourself."
Yeah,
they're so mean.
That was terrible. I didn't even go in. I waited in the car. So I don't wait in lines. I get like a lot of weird things with that. So like Sharon has to do a lot of my stuff.
You should have seen.
I don't like to pay for things.
This was the big comment. Speaking of waiting in lines, this was the big comment last night at. They had the line at. So Endgame was showing at Boston Common. I think I saw the 11:30. Tried to see the 11:20. Yeah. There was one seat. So I'm like buying buying this one seat at the kiosk, and it's not working, and I'm thinking, and it's driving me nuts. It's taking minutes, 5, 6, 7 minutes, and I'm thinking like,
we're gonna miss this.
I'm thinking someone else at one of these kiosks is buying this seat or bought it, and this is a fucking computer problem. So I'm like, 11:30. You know what I mean? But it's like, it feels, because
like
I'm so high. I just power smoked.
It's a 3-hour movie, so you have to get a lot of THC in you.
Yeah,
that's what I'm worried about Monday morning.
It's just basically give it up. You have to break all your movie going habits for this movie.
Yeah.
I drank. So all right, so I'll just go through it real quick. So I fucking decided, all right, I like to see movies on a whim, or just pick a day, but go randomly that day.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I gotta see this movie. Gotta see it. First of all,
spoilers are mocked.
They're a coming.
Yeah.
I've already seen them today. I love the Marvel movies. Like, they're my favorite, So not only was I kind of, I want to see this so I don't get spoiled, but I was like, I truly, just in my heart and soul, want to see this.
This is like the wrap up of this chunk of story too.
Yeah, just watched Infinity War last week.
Yeah, I'm watching it Sunday.
So I was like, all right, man, this is gonna be great. And I was kind of hanging with my girl, and she's getting sleepy, and I was going like, all right.
You plan
as she's getting sleepy, I'm going from like, in my head, I was like, I'll see the midnight one, but as she's getting, I was like, I might get to the 11:20. She's yawning. I'm like,
getting wild.
I'm like, I might get 11:30, 11:20, 11:30 in here. She's yawning. She got up early today, so she starts going like, all right, I think I'm gonna hit the sack. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna head home. So then I'm like, my mind's made up,
Yeah, you're definitely going now.
I'm thinking I'm gonna get a great parking spot. It's a zoo. Not just the theater, but the whole bar area. It's Thirsty Thursday. There's tons of kids.
There's a bar at the Boston one?
No, but the area, that Emerson College area. Yeah. It's still downtown Boston. So I'm like, fuck, I don't get a great spot. I get one. And I smoke, like power smoke in my car.
Like Joey Coco Diaz.
Yeah.
Angry smoke. Yeah.
And to be fair, I've been smoking kind of heavy lately. Like my, hold on. Speaking of, this is a weed dealer. Smoking weed kind of heavy. So my tolerance is kind of high right now, which I've kind of been enjoying because, like I said, I've been at these social things. So people have been handing me a lot of weed. And luckily, my tolerance is so high that I'm just like, give it. Like,
yeah.
When my tolerance is low, I'm more calculated about how much weed I'm smoking, but right now I'm kind of just like smoking weed.
And it's better when it's high.
It's kind of like,
it's more therapeutic.
It's kind of nice that way. But I do sort of, I don't know about you, but there's a part of me that feels like if I don't get a little paranoid, I didn't really get high.
Oh, same. I love the paranoid.
Do you know what I'm saying?
People say it's like a bad thing. I love.
Do you know what I'm saying? No, is that kind of fucked up?
Yeah.
It's like if I don't feel,
I'm not a little afraid.
If I don't feel a little bit of like, like,
do you know how I describe to people who don't smoke weed? It's like that feeling when you're in a basement and you're a child and
you want to run up the stairs.
That
is perfect.
That's the feeling. It's so good, man. It's the best feeling.
That is a great description. of what it is, because it's like a
It's
mischievous
like,
fear. Yeah, you're like, no, deep down there's no monster.
I do it
behind
back
you.
here. Like I smoke weed in the back sometimes, and I come in and I lock the door. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you didn't get me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's how it is when you smoke weed. When you're a comedian on the road, you go to your car to smoke weed, and then you're walking back to your room, and there's like you're walking, you pass some family in the hallway. You're like, hi, and then you go in your room, and you're like, and it's for no reason. But so I'm power smoking weed. Obviously, it's like fun event movie. But I get to the theater. I'm thinking. Because I saw the last one at like 9 a.m. and it was crowded, but there was a couple empty seats here and there. It felt like a busy day at the movie theater. It was crazy. There was a shitload of people there. I was like, fuck. But they're showing so many movies. I'm thinking it's still not going to be that crowded. No, wrong. They're like all 1 or 2 seats.
Yeah.
Luckily, I'm alone, so I'm like, I can pick these spots here. But so I'm like, front row is like what's mostly open.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck it. I pick a front row seat. Like I said, I had trouble for 5 minutes. I finally get it to work. I go up to where the concessions are. I'm not kidding you, dude. It was the longest concession line I've ever seen. It kept wrapping around. I was like, there's no way.
I'm not doing that.
To look at it. I'm like, there's no way that takes less than 40 minutes, 45. It was like a roller coaster at Six Flags.
Insane.
It was insane. Like, people were getting in it. I heard from my friend's girlfriend later that people were getting in it and then standing in for 20 minutes and being like, we're going to miss the movie. We got to go.
Yeah.
It was just...
That's when you bribe people. You
For
just
me,
go
it
to
was
the front and you bribe people.
For me, it was an instant I had my jacket, my girl's mother gave me an Easter basket, so I just took all the candy from that and shoved it in my jacket.
Yeah.
Had a bottle of water, which I promised myself I would not touch until like 1:40. I kept looking at my phone. I was like, 1:40, I'll start drinking water. So that was the thing.
I got to plan it 3 hours.
So I get in. I had a cup of coffee on the drive from
That's smart.
Brookline to the theater.
Midnight or 11:30.
It was 11 o'clock.
You definitely want to put some caffeine in your body.
Had a cup of coffee, but then I didn't have to piss, but I go and force myself to take
Smart.
a piss.
Yeah.
Like a full, like, kind of uncomfortable, sort of too yellow.
Little scratchy.
Kind of a little scratchy. Little like, there's some breeze, some wind.
Yeah.
I saw the water move like Jurassic
knock
Park
the
stuff.
wind out of yourself. It like sucked the
hurts a little bit. Your body's sort of, why are we doing this? And then I go and then I make a very bold move.
What is this?
So I'm getting in. I'm kind of a little more on time than I want to be. I like to be 15 minutes late to a movie, so you get in. The previews are going, and
15. You're pushing it. I do like 9.
Yeah, 9 is really the safe, but it really is like 15.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like to get in while at least the previews are going.
Same with me.
But I get in and it's still on like those pre-preview commercial shits.
Yeah.
But I make a bold move, which is I see the fucking theater is packed. It's 80 degrees in there from all the people.
All those nerds.
All the nerds and drunks who kind of has a boozy smell. Because it's so late.
It's midnight, yeah.
So I look and I make the bold choice of just grabbing one of those handicap person chairs.
They've all been open. I've been watching these fucking seats.
I'm thinking.
Not going to make it an anti-handicap thing.
I'm thinking to myself, all right, if I'm handicapped, I'm probably not going to the midnight screening. B, even if I am handicapped and I'm going to the midnight screening, I'm not showing up late. I'm getting there a little bit before. And then I'm like, see, if someone handicapped shows up without a person,
you're going to get up.
I'll get up and go to my pre-bought seat right there.
You got legs.
But I was like, yeah, I'll get up and move ably. And then I was like, but if a wheelchair person comes and they don't have anyone with them, they'll probably let me sit here. So I was like, I got outs. I got like 4 outs.
Dude, best case scenario, you have a wheelchair buddy now.
Yeah, exactly.
You get a friend.
Wheelchair friend. And I was like, I got multiple outs, and I guarantee no one from this theater is going to come up and be like, excuse me, it's a zoo in here.
Exactly. And no one wants to fuck with the handicapped person. You might be handicapped.
I might be handicapped, so I just pull my hat down. I sat there. Dude, private.
So smart.
So that I watched the whole movie. I was like fucking leg room for days. No one around me. No one around me at all. Space everywhere. I had like a private.
You also parked in the handicap place. Like, it was like a full.
Yeah. Fucking. I accepted some government funds.
Yeah, dragged your leg as we went to the movie theater.
But it was an awesome movie going experience. I did not have to piss one time. I was thinking before the movie, I was like, I go 3 hours during the day when I'm dehydrated.
Exactly.
That's key. I just kind of had to stay a little dehydrated. I was like, just don't drink water.
Smart.
Stay dehydrated. Deal with that.
Yeah.
And then...
That's a pro tip from the Noonan Show.
Yeah, deal with the dehydration.
Stay dehydrated.
So then, while you're at a movie, so then I went, because I pissed like twice during Captain Marvel, which was only 2 hours. Wow. But I had done a show that night. I've been drinking tons of bottles of water and coffee and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like planned for this shit. But the weed thing, that really didn't last. Like, it was 10 minutes into the movie. I already started dipping into the Easter candy, and I was like, well, the high, I'm not really that high, but I just love these characters and love this movie.
I'm gonna eat some weed too. I've been
that's
planning
the
that
key.
out. I'm gonna eat it at 2 different stages.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna smoke weed. I've been planning it out. Like, you plan out peas, I've been planning out my THC intake.
Yeah, I was more focused on pissing because that's an issue.
I just won't pee. Like, it's like flight or flight. My body just shuts that down. I don't have to.
There's some good parts though. I like to think that my sort of the study of, like, we studied film in acting school, and I feel like some of the tricks I learned, I get to go, all right, this is a good spot to pee when I watch movies.
Yeah. You've said that before, yeah.
I'm like, all right, this is where the one character explains everything that's happening to the other character. I know what's happening, so I can go take a piss.
That's a good point.
Like,
that's a really good point.
I'm usually good,
but
I'm thinking Endgame was the kind of movie where it's all the movies are coming kind of led up to this point.
Everything up.
So it's like, bang, there's not really any time for a boring scene in a movie like that.
And without spoiling anything, is there an end thing? Do you have to wait through the credits? There is like one little thing, supposedly, right?
Yeah, but I didn't wait. So I actually did check on that.
Okay.
Because I checked on it.
I'm probably just going to wait.
I checked on it while I was sitting in my seat because I was like...
Smart.
I'm like, I am still in a crowd of 300 or 400 people, and I kind of just want to get the fuck out of here. It's 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
I had read somewhere kind of in passing that there wasn't going to be one.
Scene, but there's something.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I read, too.
But, so I found out what it was today. I don't feel like I missed anything.
I'll still probably wait.
I'm that guy who stays, but
I'm not, but Sharon
this time I didn't.
Definitely waits.
Because it was just too much of a scene, and it was so late that I was like, I want to get out. So then I walk out of the theater, and it was still crazy out there. There were tons of people who had gone to see movies. Tons of parties had been broken up. So when you come out of the movie, there's 100 people standing around waiting for people that are in your movie.
Yeah.
So that was kind of odd. To be in Boston at 3 in the morning with 300 college kids standing around, not really causing any trouble, but also just being there. It was really odd. You almost
feel like you're causing trouble.
And then I saw, I don't know if you do this, but when I see like an action movie, it's always dangerous to be in the car with me after.
That's funny.
For like the drive home, because I'm just like, Arr! So I was in the city of Boston.
3 in the morning.
3 in the morning. I was like, I actually had the thought, I should just set my alarm once in a while just to wake up.
That'd be fun.
Just to drive around at 3 a.m. because it's so nice.
Yeah.
Because that's when you go, man, Boston's a beautiful city. And it's really easy to get around.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense now.
And I was just, I ripped up. I probably got from South Station to this neighborhood in like a minute and 30 seconds. It's like, just like, and it was, I was kind of like, if I get pulled over, I'll just explain it. I just saw the Avengers.
He'll get it.
And that I'm all fired up, and
he'll give you like the Marvel handshake. You'll be fine.
Yeah, it was cool though. It was a great movie, and I don't know how to recommend it to people.
You gotta watch it. You gotta see them.
Yeah,
I like fell into them.
There were so many parts where, because I consider myself a pretty big fan.
Yeah, I always ask you things. So,
in the last 2 years, I've seen every movie.
Yeah,
because I did a huge rewatch.
Yeah,
which took like 6 months.
I had to watch it like that because I didn't see the whole first half of them. Because I'm not the biggest fan, to be honest, but I've fallen into it.
I've watched all the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
So good now.
But I'm going like, man, I'm barely hanging on
to everything.
Right? And I know, and I really know.
So I'm gonna be completely obliterated when
there was one thing I had to look up today.
Oh, really?
But a lot of people had to look it up because it's just people get older and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, who the fuck is that?
That's cool.
But there was stuff. The only thing. So that's the thing. I've watched like everything, but I never watched. There's one TV show that I never could watch because it's not really on any of the platforms. One? Agent Carter. It was the first.
Oh, it was on was it on YouTube or something?
Yeah, it was on something.
Yeah, it was like a smaller thing.
It was like Hulu, right? I think.
Okay.
But like the beginning of Hulu. Anyway. So they did such a good job of kind of bringing in every single thing that they've ever done that I was like, there's like one thing that I was like, I don't really know that much about that character. A little bit from because Agent Carter was in the Captain America movies. But I was like, I think if I had watched that show, I'd even have a little bit more insight.
I've definitely never seen that shit.
It's hard to even find because I wanted to watch it.
All right.
Because it's about she's the one who started S.H.I.E.L.D. Her generation in the 1940s. Because I am a big S.H.I.E.L.D. fan. I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah. I like the comics. I always, even when I was a kid, I always liked S.H.I.E.L.D. I just think it's cool because I was a G.I. Joe fan, and S.H.I.E.L.D. was kind of like G.I. Joe.
Yeah. That makes sense.
I love the Hulk too, and the Hulk's one of my all-time favorite Marvel characters. And he's fucking badass in this new movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I just highly recommend it. It was something I was like,
it's almost a cultural thing. I almost feel like you have to see it in a weird way. It's that big.
Felt like the end of an era, not just
how many
their
years
era.
Has it been?
I was like, man, this is the end of a time, like the end of them.
It's gonna be like 15 years.
Felt like a little bit of the end of the 2000s or the magic of what. The 2000s were supposed to be this kind of. We all thought it was going to be this new futuristic utopia, but it turned out to be a futuristic dystopia.
Yeah, and now we're just
kind of getting kind of what the movie's about.
It's interesting.
It's only kind of dawning on me now, but I mean, that's kind of what the Marvel thing is about. That's leading up into the movie is about that. It's we thought it was going to be something else, and it's this. We're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's sort of what happens in the Infinity Wars, and that's sort of what happens. So to have this movie end, and to have this sort of series of Avengers movies end
of an era
feels the same way. You're kind of like, that's kind of that on those years and that time.
It feels like that in a weird way that we're moving to another place anyway.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't it feel like that?
It absolutely does. It's.
I wonder if that's just like being self-important, though, in a way.
No, I think that's
it feels different, but I don't know if it's just like us.
No, I think it's people are. I've noticed a general from more people in general, like a more throwing up the hands at the media and the fear that's coming back from the media and the Trump stuff
or both sides.
Even people who
Trump, people are done with a lot of established stuff.
Yeah, people are over their chain being yanked by their own devices and their own things. I noticed the big pushback against Instagram from like younger kids.
That's interesting.
I think that's all kind of starting to happen right now.
Yeah,
I mean, in the past year, so I talked about it before, but I noticed on Reddit even. It's like a common thing on Reddit once a month or so to have hold on. So here's just live on the air. Gotta cancel one weed guy and be like, all right, so you never answered me.
I got another guy.
Yeah.
That's the way it works though.
Sometimes I think hey, I am gonna give you $80 or $70 or
80? That's a little high.
Yeah, it's 70, but sometimes it's gourmet shit.
Yeah.
And
gourmand.
but it's like sometimes with these guys, I want to be like, hey, you know, I get it. You're my buddy. It's weed.
But this still is a business.
It still is a business, and it's still a sizable. It's not. Hey, we're not dealing with thousands of dollars here, but it's like it's a decent chunk of change.
I don't know anybody who really will do stuff for less than an ounce, though. People get weird.
I get the quarters all the time.
I don't. People are like.
See, I feel I used to buy eights way back.
I just think the other way. I'd be so annoyed if someone's like, "You want me to
drive all the way to my house for a quarter?"
7 grams of weed
for 8. But see, I drive.
Yeah, so
I drive 2 hours for $200.
See, you have such a different
back in the day. I would drive 15 minutes to make 80.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
I'm not asking these dudes to drive an hour to me. They're driving across town. It's their job to sell.
With you.
No, but I'm just saying, I appreciate the devil's advocate. It's like Pat on his fucking chaos magic shit. That was a tough time. I think also when I look back at those times, I'm like, that was also 2 guys becoming old guys. You just can't do that anymore. You can't hang like that anymore at a certain age. Like we were just... always me and him were always just like playing video games next to each other, and that eventually just became like both of us got sick of that. I think like both of us needed like we both became like old men. Yeah, we both just became men who wanted to like live in their own worlds.
Yeah,
sometimes, but I also don't know. Sometimes I also think about
both ways.
So I think sometimes. When I think about Pat, I'm like he like pushes people out, and sometimes he finds ways. Like for me, it's the chewing. I'm like, he knows.
Does he know?
He chooses to get rid of me sometimes. I'm telling you.
I don't believe that. That's so funny though.
Yeah. He gets a little sick of me hanging around talking.
Yeah. He's like, all right, Will.
Starts chewing stuff, and I'm like, I'm out the door.
In a way, that's almost like healthy, though. It's like he knows you have a button. It's like instead of just like, hey, shut the fuck up for a minute, he just chews loud. I actually kind of like it.
Yeah, I mean, I have similar things. I tiptoe around. If I have to go to the bathroom, if I'm thinking about using the bathroom, I start tiptoeing towards the door.
Oh, because you think he'll jump in it?
I know he will. I know from thousands of tests. Thousands of experiments. If he hears me,
you're like day 4.
If he hears
hypotheses.
If he hears me like get up from my chair and clear my throat, he's like, you can hear it, and then I'll. 20 that's the other thing, 25 30 minutes I'll watch entire episodes of TV shows holding my piss. that will be something I won't miss. It's like, and it's funny too is he won't admit it now, but one day he will, because like, so when we used to share a bong, that was a source of a lot of discourse.
Is that why he?
But he used to have a thing where, do you remember this? Like, if I would sit there and not smoke weed for 20 minutes. I'd pack a bowl, and the second I went to reach for the bomb, Pat would be like, "Oh, I'm about to smoke."
I do remember
he would
that.
Always do it, and it became at first. Every once in a while, you go, "Oh yeah." But then it became like, dude, you do this every time. And you do that. No, it just, he'd be like, Will, I swear it just happens that way. He used to always say it. It's just the way it is.
It just makes it enter his head.
But then when I bought my own bong.
Yeah. Does it trigger him?
When I first got it, I would smoke, and he would reach for his bong, and then he admitted it. He said, I would never admit this before. And he never should have said this. He never should have said this to me. He was like, I never would admit this before, but I did do that on purpose. Like, I did do that because I wanted to smoke before you did.
I don't fucking believe it, though. I don't believe he's that calculated.
He said it. He fucking said those words, and it made me go, I knew it, and now I know your whole shit. Like, you do this kind of thing all the time. You're always thinking, and I know it because my mom would do the same thing. My mom would be sitting there, she'd be watching TV for an hour.
Yeah.
And she'd see you come downstairs with a towel, and she'd be like, "You taking a shower?" Yeah, I'm about to go take a 10-minute. Hold on, let me go. And then she'd go in there and take like a dump or like whatever or take a leak. But she'd be in there for 10 minutes. It would be like, no, you had no urge to do this until you saw me about to do it, and then you thought I might not be able to get in there for 10 minutes, so might as well get in there now.
Sharon does it to me with cleaning. She'll hear me like I'll start cleaning something, and then like she's in my way trying to clean something. That drives me insane. I'm like, you could have just done it. I could be not cleaning.
I've noticed,
and you could be cleaning.
I've noticed multiple people in my life do that with certain things. Like,
I think it's a human nature.
You'll go in the kitchen to start. Yeah, like I'll go in the kitchen and start doing dishes. Yeah. All of a sudden, someone's like, "Oh, I need something right by the sink."
Oh,
now you do?
Yeah, exactly. That too.
What's up with that one? You're like, you haven't been by the sink all day. You go over there for 2 minutes and you're washing dishes. Someone's like, "Oh, that's one that drives me nuts."
Well, it shows you how their brain works. They're like sitting there. They're like, "I do want something, but it's like at 30%, so I'm not getting up."
And then,
but like, now you're there. So that 30%, that's a solid 95%.
That's most of life is being pissed at people because you just don't think the same way that they do. They think one way and you think another way.
But I think everyone thinks actually the same way. I think it's like a selfish thing. It just squirms out in weird, different ways.
Maybe.
I think we're all the same, bro. I really think we are. I don't buy into this different people shit.
I do. I gotta say, it's probably where we part ways on this one.
I just think we're all the same model, and then it's all different add-ons. It's all different.
That's interesting.
So like your base instincts are all the same. Survive, fuck,
I don't know though.
shit.
You look at a litter of puppies. You know, it's like one is fearful and one is jumping around and one is.
But do you think that's necessarily inherent, or does he just realize he's a little smaller or not as fast?
Yeah, I think that's all. And I think with my nieces, right? Like, so I've seen that like a lot of them have had a personality since.
Yeah, no, I
since
buy
the day
that.
they were born. Like, there's certain.
But I think it's
personality.
imprinted though.
Maybe, I don't know. See, actually, that's so interesting because I kind of like to believe that ancestors sort of there's like ancestral, you inherit other things besides just cancer and diabetes and
so true.
eyes, and everyone talks about you inherit your looks and your certain diseases and certain traits, but I think you would also inherit fears and
experiences in a way. What you're talking about is called epigenetic changes, and it's a big study now that it's pretty amazing.
I've heard of it.
Well, basically, like one of the things are like babies' response to stress hormones. They're more basically it turns on certain genes. The way your genome works, there's all certain proteins that can be coded, but with a slide of a rule, I'm simplifying it, but it can encode a different protein. So if you have like a bunch of cortisone in a woman's body when they're pregnant, which is a stress hormone, that can trigger all sorts of different physiological responses in the baby that are passed on.
Makes sense.
So like people in violent, this is like the most famous one. They're finding out so much more, but people in violent environments tend to be quicker to violence themselves.
Yeah.
But it still gets back into like nature versus nurture, and you still don't know how much of each pot is poured into which. I think it's more nurture. I think DNA is more of a baseline.
I do think nurture's a lot, but I don't know. I do think there's stuff that just can't really be taught or is inherent.
I think you're right. It's just you feel,
like the greats, right? Like Michelangelo and Da Vinci and stuff. They're clearly cut from they're made of different stuff than.
Or could it just be like a certain scenario that made them, like a Shaquille O'Neal? Like you make a giant like that. Maybe his mother was stressed week 12.
Yeah,
she got a little that way.
I don't know.
It's interesting though.
That'd be a cool futuristic. I always laugh when I hear those. Like there's lab experiments with stress hormones of babies. I'm like, how do you stress a baby?
Yeah, why would you do that too? Why would you want to do that?
I remember seeing an experiment on TV where they were trying to see how long it takes a baby to cry when you take its mother away, or they were saying how a baby won't. If a mother just makes no expression at a baby, it'll eventually it'll quickly start to cry.
Because it's not getting feedback.
Like if it gives a nothing.
Like a blank, yeah.
Blank. It'll eventually start to freak out. And it's sort of, the scientist was kind of saying this is sort of the basis for all angst.
Do you think so?
Is
that what they're saying though? Like that the mother's facial expressions are giving information to the baby for like the state of everything?
We can see what the baby immediately.
That's interesting.
The baby immediately kind of does what an adult would do. It's like, what's going on? But then it starts doing things an adult wouldn't do, which is like, all right, here's all the things I do to make her smile. And it kind of goes through its routine. Wow.
Yeah.
And then it goes, none of that works.
That's working.
And then it's like, life is over.
Holy shit.
You know what I'm saying? So it's this microcosm of
that's crazy.
A standard. Basically, I want this. I'm not getting it. I'm never going to get it. Oh my God. Yeah. And now you're depressed, now you're a depressed person because it's a feedback. There's a feedback you want, you're not getting it.
And now this pathway has been created.
And now
because of this,
you're basking in the sadness.
Because of some dumbass psychologist, like, yeah, just have a blank face at your baby.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm watching it going like, what happens to these babies?
These fucking people.
See them in 20 years. Yeah. Do you think they won't remember this, But it was an interesting... And also interesting, even as an adult man, to watch within seconds, you're like, just fucking smile at that baby. Like you're thinking the mother looks cruel away.
Yeah. You're like,
even you are like, smile, damn it. Smile.
I hate you, Mom.
A lot of the moms were in tears after. Like, a lot of moms were in tears. Like,
it's so messed up.
A hard time.
That's such a all of like the weird tests they do on babies have to be so like all the psychology stuff. They leave them alone. Why do you even want to know this stuff? Let's just not know some stuff.
Yeah, they have to.
Let's leave babies alone.
I guess it's not as bad as acting. I'd rather have my kid.
Child actors though, or freaking making a kid play football.
There we go. So my other weed dealer took it all right. This guy, a lot of my weed dealers it's very much a side gig for them.
I think most weed people are like that now.
Yeah.
All my people
They're
are
all
like that too.
All three of them are friends.
Yeah.
As well as weed guys.
Yeah. Blurred lines.
So it's kind of... And a lot of them are comics. Or two of the three guys I like to use are comics. That's... My favorite thing is to just be like, just come do a guestie, sell me some weed. You're fucking double up.
Yeah, double up.
Paid guest spot.
That's how you, yeah. And it's just efficient.
Yeah. I did,
Flat Cat asked, can people eat chips around you with the mouth noise thing?
Yeah.
You don't love chips.
I don't love it. It's so person to person. Like I had a hard time on Easter.
Oh, okay.
Like when I have some real offenders in my immediate family. I won't say who, but
does it originate from that?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably does, because really just me and my mother are the only ones who eat properly.
Savages.
Yeah.
I don't have a mouth thing, but I have people have loud feet when they walk and they stomp. That fucking pisses
kind of like
me off.
It gets you.
I'm like, just walk like a fucking human.
I'm like that when someone slams a door for no reason.
Same
people
thing.
Who are like,
yelling in a house.
Yeah.
I don't fucking do any of these things.
Yeah, I don't like
You're
that.
a human.
But yeah, I was having a hard time. Like when I can ruin a lot of people's lives right now if you want to. If next time you're at a family gathering and it's like the fucking plates are out and everyone stops passing shit around, just fucking tune in. Just shut your own mouth and listen for a second to 8 people chomping up food, cutting it up.
Tom Brady.
Yeah. Donald Trump, he's a... It's just horrible.
Elizabeth Warren.
It's like, I just go, man, I just fucking... If I still had panic attacks, I'd be having one right now. That's what I start thinking.
Don't you almost... That's not to get on another tangent, but since like... You can recognize what triggers a panic attack, and you almost not have a panic attack.
I've really come a long way with all that stuff. Basically, the last 2 things I had to check off my panic attack bucket list were long flight, long stay
Yeah.
and long dental work, and I've done all 3 of them in like the past month.
Yeah.
And those are the last 3 things that I was afraid of,
Living
or
easy.
that I hadn't done without booze, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've done some quick stays. I've done pretty much a long stay, but it was not like that, far from home, and that was like, that took some balls, I would say, to commit to.
It's really cool too.
It was like a year-long process, you know. Not everyone gets that. Like, I found out I was in consideration for it.
Yeah.
I knew I was being sort of scouted.
That's weird.
by the powers that be, and that
comedy Illuminati.
Yeah, that I was sort of being watched and like seeing how positive or negative of a person I was. And
do you think that affected you, knowing that you were being watched? Do you think that affected you on stage at all? Positive or negative?
I knew it was mostly social media.
All right.
But I guess it would be in the back of my mind when, you know, sometimes when I'm on Kumia and it's getting controversial now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a little bit more, because I'm attached to a couple bigger things now. So it's like,
you're a good boy.
Yeah, you just go. You're just thinking, you know. That
sucks though. I know we don't do this on the show, but that sucks that you have to do, because when you go on Kumia, you guys just play and it's nothing but fun. You never do anything heavy.
Yeah, I was thinking though. I was like, all right. Just thinking the other day, I was like, so if a Honda National wanted to pick me up, someone eventually,
I know,
would probably be like, well,
it
wouldn't even be, they wouldn't even have me necessarily saying anything too crazy. Maybe on like one of my podcasts, I would have said something like about chicks that's like out of context. Yeah. But even then, people would probably not be too pissed. But someone could just be like, oh, Will's friend, the Honda guy's friends with Anthony Cumia.
Yeah.
But I also kind of think,
it's so wrong.
I think though it's not, I mean, Bill Burr, you know, a lot of people who are connected with Cumia doesn't bother. It doesn't, you know.
It shouldn't though.
And it shouldn't anyway. And also, he's not that bad. And I just don't think, I kind of think worst case scenario, something like that could happen. But I really don't. It's not something I waste a ton of time thinking about, because I personally haven't really done a bunch of shit that I'm
freaking Cumia hasn't
be afraid of. People no, he hasn't.
Crazy.
But the fact is that he tweeted the N-word 10 years ago.
Exactly. Like we're talking about.
That's enough, though.
No, you're right. You're
the fact
right.
that I've laughed at, you know, here's the thing. Like I've been on his show, and like they show a picture of a chick like surrounded by black men. Like there was like a porn star, right? And they show a picture of her like surrounded with black men. And like Cumia made a joke, and I laugh at it.
It's funny.
Does that clip make me look like a bigot?
I feel like that.
I don't think so, though. I don't think so.
I feel like we're moving past that. It feels like a little less gotcha is happening, in my opinion. It really does.
And I just don't think it matters. And I know that in this scenario, they know, like, you know, everyone knows that I've smoked pot. That's not a problem anymore.
It's obviously good not to lie. It's fun to just be yourself.
But I don't have a control. In fact, I think I have the opposite rep, though. Like, I get like when Improv Bostonian wrote about me, they were like, this guy doesn't make you feel bad. He's kind of, I forget what the word they use, but it's like never too acidic, they said, which I took that as a compliment, because it's like, and one guy, Carl, a great guy, he sent me an email. He was like, dude, he's like, I'm sick. I got to be home most of the time because I'm sick. And he's like, so a lot of my life is online. Yeah. He's like, and you're never like negative.
A little bit of positivity definitely helps.
He goes, it's just, even if it's the positivity helps, but it's just to have a break from that, just to not be that, you know? Yeah, that's interesting. Just to know it's not going to come there. Yeah. That was one of the big things when we started doing this, that I was like, all right, let's just make this a no political correct zone, because it's just, that stuff just is, it's just a bummer.
Kind of boring too. Yeah, I find it more boring than anything. Just like, oh, here's this opinion or that opinion. Those are the two you can have. Here we go. So it's easier just to not.
So that's the thing. If someone wanted to go through everything I've ever said as a stand-up comedian with a fine-tooth comb, you could definitely find some sort of
I'll hate it
thing here and there. But I just don't think, you know, even look at Kevin Hart. Like, he's got plenty of great endorsements, and he's
exactly.
And he's said some stuff here and there. I don't worry about it, especially since I really have no big blemishes.
You literally have no.
All you have is me laughing at maybe a couple borderline jokes here or there, but even then,
that's what I was gonna say too.
Like
comedy, you've carved a little area where you just get to do what you want. Yeah, it happens to be positive.
Yeah,
but you get to do what you want.
Yeah, I'm not always super positive.
No, I don't even mean that. But you don't
for like a year there. My hypothetically was like a self-help podcast. As I was going through,
you were just
crazy like brain renovations. I was just doing it on the podcast every week. Was just like, here's a bunch of tips on how to not have panic attacks. And here's what I'm doing. But yeah,
do you think some of your panic stuff has fallen away as you've been more successful?
So much.
Do you think that's a correlation, or it's just like almost happened together?
So many things happened that contributed to the panic receding. Quitting smoking, biggest one.
Yeah,
that took that was probably the actual last nail in the coffin.
Like real hurdle. Yeah.
That was me being like, I'm finally done with you. Because basically, smoking cigarettes was basically keeping anxiety around by choice.
But also pretending that it's helping.
Pretending that it's helping, but keeping it around by choice without kind of consciously making the choice. Meditating, and so I was already, most of the hard work had been done.
You were
meditating, running.
Point,
I had much better control. Got a great girlfriend. That'll do 90% of the job.
But that happened later.
That did happen later because I had to be kind of where I was at to sort of date her right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like date her without being in my head and being like a psycho.
Being like someone who can legitimately be in a relationship.
Yeah, and be there be present.
Yeah, present, yeah.
But I mean, when I look back, it's been years since it's been super, super a problem.
It's crazy like that. Like I've never had anxiety or anything like that, but it's crazy when you're like, you could just see how you could be better, and then you are better, and it almost feels like you did the work the entire time, but it also feels crazy that you came from here to there.
It's weird. I was just thinking about that yesterday or the day before. I was thinking about, the real brutal thing about anxiety is when it's consumed you.
Yeah.
It really is, I think, one of the worst things that you can have. It's really hard on a person. It's not going to kill you. It's not going to... you'd rather have that than cancer or diabetes even, or a lot of these things that you can have in life.
The HIV.
Yeah, all that shit. But it wears on a person.
Yeah, that's a better way to say it, right?
You survive. You don't live a life. You survive. You're not... for me, it never made me like suicidal, but my enjoyment of life was probably on par with someone who was suicidal. Like,
everything was tinted, points. Everything was colored.
Every moment of every day is through this filter.
Yeah.
And then one of the crueler things I think is when you finally do, if you're lucky enough, I think most people do get through it.
Yeah.
Because this is what I think happens. Most people eventually get through it. Takes a decade. And then once you're through it, you don't want to look back. You don't want to go back. You don't want to even wake that beast. Yeah. So you kind of don't even give other people the benefit of it. So it's like there's no community for it, because when you don't have it, you all of a sudden don't understand. You kind of don't understand. You don't understand people with it as much as when you're in it. It's hard to explain in that way, but I remember saying it. I remember walking the streets of New York by myself and thinking to myself, like, if I ever beat this, I'm still going to help people who have it because this is the worst, loneliest thing. Because no one around you gets it.
It is weird, and honestly, it's frustrating you want to be helpful to someone, but it's also like, we got to do this again.
I mean, I even deal with people with it now, and I have friends with it, and I help them, and sometimes I get frustrated with them, and I'm going, this was me, man, and it's hard to explain to someone I think who's never had it. But I was just thinking the other day, I was like, man, my life used to really be, a year used to feel like 10 years, because it was just every day was. I remember just going to I go to the other day. I went to earlier in the month or whatever. I went to a Red Sox game and I saw this guy I know, and I said hi to him, and I sat in the front row and with my girl and him and his wife, all this cool stuff, and I'm meeting people and I have people coming up and saying hello and stuff. And I was like, man, like 4 or 5 years ago, I would really have to psych myself up for a week just to go to a Red Sox game. And coming
to meet
through
all those people,
and coming through the
like
gates,
torture too.
Yeah, coming through the gates, I'd be really like building myself up, like you're gonna be okay, and trying to maintain and be cool around my brother and just have fun.
Yeah,
and it sucks. Sometimes what I really feel is I feel bad. Like I feel bad for that guy. I'm like, man, that was like I feel bad for that guy who had to go through all those years. Like
took everything so hard on himself.
Took everything so hard on myself, and really just made life harder than it needed to be. But it wasn't a choice like that. It wasn't like I had my head up my ass.
Yeah,
it was just this. I had to relearn a lot of things. I was kind of saying this to a friend of mine who's in her 20s. I was like, when you get out of college, it's kind of, you're a kid, your parents tell you what to do, and you're in high school and your teachers and your friends kind of tell you what to do and how to act. And then in college, you're on this path.
Yeah.
And now when you're in your mid-20s, now it's time to sort of decide for yourself what you want to learn and who you want to be and what happens. The parenting continues, but now it's up to you.
You can literally do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want, but you also decide. You don't just do the food in the job. Like you also have to decide who you become and what type of brain you have, and it's like deal with those problems of anxiety and stuff like that. So, and I think that's why people now have these crises when they're 25, 26 years old, because it's, there was more of self-sufficiency in adolescence before then. You had more of a grip on who you were when you were 25 before.
So. Yeah.
Now you're 25. It's like this horrible surprise party where you walk in and no one's there. It's just you. Yeah. And you're like, surprise, it's just you.
There you go.
Like, surprise, you're actually responsible for yourself now for the rest of your life. And and those parents that took care of you, they're actually on the decline.
Yeah. And you're going to have to start doing stuff for them.
You're going to have to start doing stuff for them. And like, and you're not just going to be 25 forever. In fact, you're not even halfway there. And all this crazy shit.
Your tits are already sagging.
Yeah. All this shit starts to hit you. And, I don't blame any 25-year-old for freaking the fuck out right now.
When did you feel like you first started figuring things out?
Well, I quit drinking when I was 26, and that was probably that was like when I started to smarten up.
Yeah, I was like 27 when I feel like that person started having good thoughts.
Yeah, I started to smarten up around 26, 27. But I think I really hit another 134. I hit another 33, 34. I hit it again. Yeah. Like I hit another big, like
I might be hitting one.
Yeah. Right, I hit another big like, like I was telling a guy who's 30. So life is just, it feels modern, but sometimes it's old fashioned.
Yeah.
I was telling a guy who's 30 some financial advice that I got from another guy like 5 years ago.
Oh wow.
So it's just every 5 years, you're just passing. And he's looking at me and I'm like,
life is like a box of chocolates.
Open a savings account. Yeah.
Money market. Don't touch it.
But, not to get super serious about there, but that anxiety stuff, it feels like you're going to have it until you're 100 years old.
Yeah.
And you go online sometimes, and the online community for that can be a little toxic. 'Cause people go on there and they want to just...
They want to live there because it becomes their identity. It gets weird.
Well, if you have anxiety and you go on an online message group, there's two. You're going to find a lady who lives at home who's going to tell you everything you want to hear, and you're going to find a lady who lives at home who's going to tell you everything you don't want to hear. They both exist on every message board. So just don't fucking listen to either one of them.
They're like Amazon reviews. You got to read between the lines.
Yeah, because the anxiety Reddit is useless because it's just people going like, I think I'm going to die. And it's one lady going, you're not going to die, sweetheart. And then it's another comment going like, I agree with her, but go to a therapist. Like, get help.
And then it's like, not my president.
And it's like, well, I can't because, my therapist doesn't think I'm fucking should be a world-class DJ, so I can't go talk to him. You know, I want to be a world-class DJ.
I want to be a SoundCloud rapper.
I love how so many people with anxiety disorders or disorders that like won't let them leave the house want super high profile, massive dealing with tons of people careers. I think about that all the time. Like, you want to, you're a comic, but you can't leave the house. It's like, let me tell you, you're going to have a rough time shaking 400 hands and meeting new people all the time.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that on the set of the commercial. That's the funny thing about my particular anxiety, is that I could always deal with these I could perform for 1,000 people and be cool, and then have a panic attack in CVS the next day at noon.
All right. That sucks.
That was like my life.
Yeah.
But commercial shoots can give you anxiety if you really think about how much pressure is on you. Like, if you think about it,
there's like 40 people working right now.
I mean, like, real money.
Yeah.
And it gets legal. Like, one time, just for shits and gigs, I was like, what would happen? Just like during I was like, what would happen if I just decided to leave? Like, if I just was like, fuck this, I'm out. Like, what would happen? Because the majority of the commercials I do, I'm the only guy in them.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, like, are you thinking? And of course, she's like, are you thinking about what? I'm like, no. I just want to know what would happen. She's like, well, we would sue you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. We would try to ruin your life.
Yeah, we would sue you today. We would lose a lot of money, and then we would sue you to try and get that money back.
You would never work again.
Yeah,
in
it would
this
be
town.
a massive pain in the ass. Your reputation would be shitty.
Well, fuck them.
Well, we're going wicked late.
Yeah, so want to just jump right into some Just Shave It?
I say we do Just Shave It, bro. Scratch ticket. Call it Just Shave It, bro. Call it a David, bro. I love the graphic for Just Shave It, bro.
The cat one? Is that what I did?
Yeah. I got some comments about Just Shave It, bro at Capo this week, though. Guy was like, I think I'm a candidate.
That'd be funny.
That's what I want, is like
real people.
I want Just Shave It, bro, to catch on. I think it will, too. I think it's our bread and butter.
So this is
Tom Segura arrested.
It does. It looks like Fat Tom Segura. But it's St. Patrick's gasoline suspect charged with attempted arson. So it just goes more. He has like a chef jacket on too. It kind of looks like.
Yeah, that's that would say
right?
That's the new look of the dangerous American man.
Yeah, for real. The neck beard, like Just Shave It, bro, doesn't have to just be the top of your head.
Yeah, it's like just
the neck beard.
Just maintain it. Just fucking groom yourself, bro.
For real. Like,
actually. Look at this. Look at this man right behind him, Paul. Look at the cop
look
right
at
there.
all these guys.
All right, so look at the guy right behind him, though. I mean, they could be the same guy.
Similar, right? Yeah.
And the guy behind him. Guy behind him looks clean. That's a man you'd trust.
Yeah, with a suit and tie, got a little lapel.
If I was a woman, though, I'd be a little afraid of I think I'd be more afraid of the guy in the back.
I don't trust people in suits, so I'm kind of with you at that. Like, they kind of got like a dress code going.
I don't
like
trust guys, like grown men with like the baby fat, like the little bit of baby fat.
Dude, I'm with you at that. Don't even get me started on this. Soft men fucking make me so fucking mad.
It's a little untrustworthy.
If you're at that point in your life, take a little testosterone. Like, dude, we're all human. We all dip down. Like, that's what's going on. You're fucking drinking too much. You're eating too much fucking potatoes.
Yeah.
And your testosterone.
And you've given up a little bit. See.
Yeah, you've given up.
Eating and drinking too much is
Dude,
you know, that's your choice. But to me, don't give up. You know,
don't give up. Don't give up, man. We're all going to be on hormones in the future. We're all going to regulate our testosterone and probably estrogen in women. I don't understand it as much because...
Well, we all know, too, if that guy had made a break for it, it would just be like 4 penguins chasing another penguin.
Oh, dude, how funny would that be?
That'd be great.
Yeah. But he should shave it.
He should definitely shave it. He should also lose that gut, too. That's a bad look.
That's a bad one. It's like you got to pass, like, what do they call it? The wall test? Like, if your stomach touches the wall before your, like, nose does.
Oh, really?
Oh,
yeah. He's got that. He's failing that
He
test.
failed that. But,
so what is this guy trying to do? He tried to just light St. Patrick's Cathedral on fire?
Yeah, I think it's like post
I was just going to say,
Notre Dame.
Copycat?
Yeah. Which wasn't even, I think that was just like an old thing that seemed to be electrical. I could be wrong, but who
I was
knows?
thinking that when that happened, I was like, what would be the closest thing here? And I was like, I guess St. Patrick's Cathedral.
Yeah.
But
That's what this
St.
guy
Patrick's
probably was
Cathedral
thinking.
does stand out quite a bit on Fifth Avenue there. It's just all these big buildings.
It's just a nut. He looks drunk.
Yeah, he looks just like a nut job. I saw a guy on top of a building in Brookline the other day who looked kind of like that. And I was like, he's probably a roofer, but part of me wants to call that in. It just, he could be a
Might
sniper.
be a jumper. Yeah.
It's a weird time.
Nice. I got another one here. This is that sex cult with Alex Mack. This is the leader. This is.
Oh, God.
Look at that guy.
I've eaten 16 pussies in one day.
I've branded 17 heinies.
I like to kiss the heinies while the blood is still hot.
I bite.
Yeah, he's weird. Ugh.
Look at that fucking mouth, too. Yeah. This fucking, one droopy eye. This guy, he's like, put the lotion.
I like sex.
Yeah.
Some people like cars and golf. I like sex, doctor.
But this guy, so he's going through some legal troubles, I guess. But he needed $60K from friends to survive.
$60K.
Yeah.
Wow.
Bunch of debts.
Living rent free.
Yeah. Filed for bankruptcy.
I don't understand people who borrow large sums of money.
I don't either. I feel bad if I'd
rather just
anything.
be homeless.
Rather live in a slide.
The only time I'd borrow that kind of money is if I was like on chemo or something. I needed it.
Yeah.
And even then, I feel so bad.
Yeah. But this guy, it's obvious. It's just, it's a deviant behavior to have.
I'm trying to think of what would make this guy look good, but that haircut, he already is a kind of a creepy looking dude, and that haircut is just doubling down.
His eyes. He got fucking butthole eyes.
Yeah, you can just tell. You only need 30 pixels to know this guy is creepy and weird. All right, let's do scratch ticket.
All right, we got one more. Let's just
fuck yeah.
This is the one you sent me, so let's do this one. This is a good one. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw this, thought immediately of you.
This fucking savage.
No, you wouldn't do this. You don't even use electric, right?
No. I know what he was doing though. This guy's also a bad neighbor.
It's one of my favorite, by the way, Twitter follows and Instagram follows this. I'm not even a frequent
Passenger
flyer,
sharing,
but I love
I agree.
The way people are on these things. I cannot fucking believe it sometimes. People are just such fucking assholes, man. Like
they literally don't care about anything about their own second.
Do you have like a 50% admiration for it?
Well, I understand it because I've had these thoughts. It's like my day didn't work out perfectly. I need to do one more thing. I don't care about these other people. I definitely understand it, but you don't get into
I always
that.
wonder if there's some of these people just got to be dickheads, but others there's just got to be like a crazy story. Like the guy's like,
he has to.
I'm going to my wedding. This is the last flight I could get.
It's got like a weird boss. He's like, if your hair is 1 micron on your head, you're fired.
Yeah, something, like some kind of crazy reason why this guy. Or I've had those. I remember one time I'd been running around New York all day in like a July day, and it was like 100 degrees, and I kept stick deodorant in my backpack like I always do. And I was on the subway waiting for the train, and I take the deodorant out and I'm putting it on, and this like chick looked at me like, you're fucking gross.
You're the worst.
And I remember thinking to myself, all right, like I'm being clean right now. This move is hygiene.
Still though.
I'm putting this on.
You do your hygiene in private.
So you guys don't smell me. Yeah. And you're saying, like, you're looking at me like I'm gross. I get it. It's not ideal. I don't want to be doing this right here. But I'm like, you're looking at me like I'm a piece of shit. Also, I don't do this every day. This isn't part of my routine.
That's exactly what that guy was saying.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he was saying. Everything you just said, exactly what he's saying. I don't do this every day. I take all sorts of flights. I gotta land this deal, man. I think my wife's banging the pool guy.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta get this.
I need to get this deal, I only work with a fucking bald head.
Makes me feel like a warrior.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
That's the whole thing. Like, do you have the coin?
Yeah.
Whenever I see someone doing something weird on a plane, I want to be like, that lady has a dog so she can fly. This guy needs to shave his head so he can fly. Let him. All right, 7. That's a good number. 13, also a good number. We're getting the lucky numbers. 7, 13, 25, 22, 15. I won. I got some scratch tickets as a gift yesterday.
Ooh.
$2 ones, and I won on every single one that I got.
Oh, wow.
But I just kept winning like that.
Yeah.
Exact
$2.
same money back. Such a fucking
That kind of was a loss.
tease. Yeah, that is a loss. Like, my girl was kind of like, you won. Like, I should be psyched. I was like, come on.
It's a participation trophy.
We've this show's kind of good proof of how unlucky. Because this is like episode 17 now.
I think so, yeah.
So this is episode 17. I think we've never won more than $5, $10.
I've never bought one in my life. I don't buy them.
I've won 100. I've won 400 before, $500.
Yeah.
I remember a couple years. There was a time where I really needed it. And I won 500.
Oh wow!
That was when I became Scratchies for life.
That's what happens to people.
You know,
that's what happens to people when they bet. If you win like the first time you bet,
yeah, I really needed it.
Taste, yeah.
It was such like a windfall. $500 when I had nothing. I was like, scratch tickets. All right, that's what you pay for,
dude. Celtics. I don't know if you're a betting person. Maybe we can do this on the show. I'll tell you about bets.
Yeah,
plus 1,600. So
really?
To win the
title? Oh, they're never gonna win the title.
I don't know. $100 down to win 1,600.
Even though I've been so down, I didn't think they'd get past the Pacers. So,
really?
I'm looking like a real dick. Yeah, I'm real down on the Celtics.
I'm pro Kyrie. We can do that another day, though.
I'm on the Bruins.
Where are you? Tell the people where you are.
I'm at Whites of Westford tonight for like the second time this month.
Nice. That sounds.
It's a fucking crazy. It's like
a weird name.
I know it is. I always make the same joke every time I'm there. I'm like, it's a huge place. I mean, it's so huge. It holds 1,000 people. It's a place where you know those places where you have like hockey banquets.
Yeah,
it's a place like that.
Yeah,
but supersized.
That's awesome.
And it's in Westport, Mass. It's called Whites of Westport because the White family owns it.
Makes sense,
right? But I always make the same joke when I'm on stage. I'm like, wow, they name this place Whites of Westport. I didn't know it was a description of the audience. It's nice to say. I have jokes like that. Tomorrow night I'm in Braintree, Mass. Doing I have to
the tree.
Oh, dude, yeah. But I got some big news coming. I'm working with some big time people coming up. Comedy too.
Can you announce it right now, or you got to?
No, but I got I can't announce it yet, but it's a cool thing.
It's big. If you're saying it's big, it's big.
It involves, cool. Yeah, I'll tell you off the air.
That's
more to come on that, but good news, and it involves stand up, not acting.
Nice.
So yeah.
You like both, but I know.
I'm always happy when the stand up is going good. So that's a little cliffhanger, a little teaser.
Oh.
But that'll be fucking in July. I'll be doing it, but I'll be able to talk about it before then.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So that's it?
That's it.
We going off the air?
Let's go.
Namaste cool, motherfuckers.
Bloop.